Okay, so once again, good afternoon, everyone. Good day, actually, no? So our next topic will be also an introduction of enterprise architecture, wherein it's too important for us to understand the introduction to networking. Ano? So a network is simply a group of two or more personal computers linked together, right? Many types of network exist, but the most common types of network are local area networking and wide area networking. So in LAN, computers are connected together with a local area, let's say, for example, for an office or home, and in WAN, that is, computers are farther apart and are connected via telephone or communication lines, also radio waves or other means of communication. So for us to give more ideas about the introduction, so let us hear the presenter for the topic Introduction to Network Basic, Networking, Components, and so on. Go ahead, Sir Alvin.
Good day to everyone, especially to our Professor Dr. Marmelo B. Abante. I am Alvin De Young, class of MIT 107, Enterprise Architecture, and I will be presenting the lesson 2, Introduction to the Network Basic Networking, Components, Software and Hardware, including hubs, router, bridge, gateway, switches, cables, wireless adapter, internet, and Bluetooth. To start with, what is computer network? Computer network is a group of computers connected with each other through wires, optical fibers, or optical links so that various devices can interact with each other through a network. So these devices are called hosts. Hosts are any device which sends and receives traffic. This includes computer, laptop, phones, printer, server, and cloud server. Also, any Internet of Things or IoT devices such as smart TV, speaker, smartwatches, thermometers, lights, refrigerator, and many more. They can interact with each other through a network. The next one is the aim of computer network is sharing the resources among various devices. Computer networks support an enormous number of applications and services such as access to the World Wide Web, digital video, digital audio, shared use of application, storage server, printer and fax machines, use of email, instant messaging application, as well as many others. And the next one is, in the case of computer network technology, there are several types of networks that vary from simple to complex level. Computer networks differ in transmission medium used to carry their signals, communication protocols to organize network traffic. The network size, topology, traffic, control mechanism, and organizational intent. There are features of computer networks. These are the several lists of computer network features, which is communication speed, file sharing, backup and rollback or restore, uh, software and hardware sharing, security, reliability, and scalability. For communication speed, network provide us to communicate over the network in a fast and efficient manner. For example, we can do video conferencing, email messaging over the internet. So not unlike before, we send mails through post office that took days to reach the person. Nowadays, we can just click the button, then at the same time, it will reach the person who is intended with. Therefore, the computer network is a great way to share our knowledge and ideas in a high speed. The next one, the file sharing. So file sharing is the one of the major advantage of computer networks. Computer network provide us the share the files with each other. one of the sample of the file sharing is using the file share server. So instead of saving the file to the USB and transferring it to another computer, we can do it over the network. Then the next one is backup and roll back easy, or shall we say restore. Since the files are stored in a main server, which is centrally located, therefore it is easy to take the backup from the main server. The next one is software and hardware sharing. We can install the application on the main server, therefore the user can access the application centrally. So one of the sample of this one is we're using web application. So the web application will be installed in the server, then everyone within the network can access the, the application. And one of the one of the sample also is using the printer. So instead of having a printer for every unit or computer, we can install the printer in one location and share it over the network. The next one is the security. Network allows the security by ensuring that the user has the right to access the certain files and application. So, but this can also be or may be used by security hackers to deploy computer viruses or computer worms on device connected to the network, or to prove that this device from access the network via denial of service attacks. So that's why we need to ensure a good security software to protect our devices. And the next one is scalability. Scalability means that we can add the new components on the network. Network must be scalable so that we can extend the network by adding new devices. But it decreases the speed of the connection, and data of the transmission speed also decreases. The problem can be overcome by using a routing or switching devices. The next one is reliability. Computer network can be used the alternative source for the data communication in case of any hardware failure. Then for the next slide, we have the computer network architecture. Computer network architecture is defined as a physical and logical design of the software, hardware, protocols, and media of the transmission of data. Simply, we can say that how computers are organized and how tasks are allocated to computer. So we have two types of computer network. We have the peer-to-peer network and the client-to-server network. For peer-to-peer network, peer-to-peer network is a network which all the computers are linked together with equal privileges and responsibility for processing the data. Peer-to-peer network is useful for some small environment, usually up to 10 computers. So sample of this one will be yung my internet cafe. So mostly they uses peer-to-peer network. So peer-to-peer network has no dedicated server. And special permission are assigned to each computer for sharing the resources, but this can lead to problem if computer with the resources is down. The advantage and disadvantage of computer or the peer-to-peer network is it is less costly as it does not contain any dedicated software. If one computer stop working, but other computers will not stop working. So hindi sila reliant nagre-rely sa server kung like the using server. Pag down yung server, so down lahat yung mga other computer. Not unlike this one, if one computer lang yung nag-down, so the rest of the computer will still be working. So it is easy to set up and maintain as each computer manages itself. So the disadvantage of the peer-to-peer, in the case of peer-to-peer network, it does not contain the centralized system. Therefore, it cannot back up the data as the data is different in different locations. And it has security issues as the device is managed by itself. The next one will be the client-server network. Client-server network is a network model designed for the end user called clients to access the resources such as songs, video, etc. from a central computer known as server. The central control is known as a server, while all other computers in the networks are called clients. A server performs all the major operations such as security and network management. A server is responsible for managing all the resources such as files, directories, printers, and etc. All the clients communicate with each other through a server. For example, if a client 1 wants to send some data to the client 2, then it first send the request to the server for the permission, then the server sends the response to the client 1 to initiate its communication with the client. But servers are simply computers with software installed which responds to the specific request. For example, let's just say the web server for the website. When a computer makes a request to the website, it is initiating a request and therefore it is considered the client. When the web server is providing the content, it is responding to the request, that therefore it is considered the server. So keep in mind that however the terms client and servers are related to a specific communication, meaning at some point this web server is going to have to update its file from a file server or a database server. Well, for that, the web server has to make a request to the file server to ask for a new file. In that communication, the web server is the client and the file server is the server. So, but a server is nothing more than a computer with software installed which knows how to respond to a specific request. You can turn any device into a web server by simply installing the proper web server software. It's the same way with the file server. There are merely computers with software that knows how to provide files or provide updates each server. So for the advantage and disadvantage of client-to-server network, a client-server network contains the centralized system. Therefore, we can easily back up and restore the data. A client-to-server network has a dedicated server that improves the overall performance of the whole system. Security is better in client-to-server network as a single server administers the shared resources. It also increases the speed of sharing resources. For the disadvantage, client-to-server network is expensive as it requires the server with a large memory. A server has a network operating system to provide the resources to the client, but the cost of network operating system is very high. It requires a dedicated network administrator to manage all the resources. The next one, we have the computer network components. Computer network components are the major parts which are needed to install the software. Some important network components are National Interface Card or NIC, switch, cable, hub, router, and modem. Depending on the type of network that we need to install, some network components can be removed, or for example, the wireless network, it does not require a cable. For the first one, we have NIC, or its NIC stands for Network Interface Card. So NIC is a hardware component used to connect a computer with another computer into a network. So dito natin pina-plug yung mga RJ45 natin. Yung pag may wireless, dito rin po. So it can support a transfer of 10, 100 to 1000 Mbps. The MAC address of the physical address is encoded on the network card chip, which is assigned by the IEEE to identify a network card uniquely. So the MAC address is stored in a programmable read-only memory. So there is two types of NIC, which is the wired NIC and the wireless NIC. So the wired NIC is presented inside the motherboard. Cables and connectors are used with the wired NIC to transfer data, while the wireless NIC contains the antenna to obtain the connection over the wireless network. For example, the laptop, computer contains the wireless NIC. The next one will have the hub. The hub is a hardware device that divides the network connection among multiple devices. When computers request for some information from a network, it first sends the request to the hub through a cable, and hub will broadcast this request to the entire network. All the device will check whether the request belong to them or not. If not, the request will be dropped. The process used by hub consumes more bandwidth and limits the amounts of communication. Nowadays, the use of hub is obsolete, and it is replaced by more advanced computer network components such as switches and router. We have three types of hubs. We have the passive hubs, active hubs, and intelligent hubs. Passive hub does not amplify the electronic signal of incoming packets before broadcasting them all to the network. Then the active hubs, on the other hand, do perform this amplification, as does a different type of dedicated network device called a repeater. The intelligent hub add extra features to an active hub that are of particular importance to business. An intelligence hubs typically is stackable. Intelligence hubs also typically include remote management capabilities via SNMP and virtual LAN. The next one, we have the switch. A switch is a hardware device that connects multiple devices on a computer network. A switch contains most advanced features than hub. The switch contains the update table that decides where the data is transmitted or not. So a switch delivers the message to the correct destination based on the physical address present in the incoming message. A switch does not broadcast the message to the entire network like the hub. It determines the device to whom the message is not to be transmitted. Therefore, we can say that switch provides a direct connection between the source and the destination. It increases the speed of the network. The next one will be the router. A router is a hardware device which is used to connect a LAN with an internet connection. It is used to receive, analyze, and forward the incoming packets to another network. A router works in a layer 3 or network layer of the OSI reference model. A router forwards the packet based on the information available in a routing table. It determines the best path from the available path for the transmission of the packet. We have advantage of a router. We have the security, reliability, performance, and network range. For security, the information which is transmitted to the network will traverse the entire cable, but the only specified device which can be addressed can read the data. Unlike the hub, the information will be transmitted to all the devices in the network. Reliability. If the server has stopped functioning, the network goes down. But no other networks are affected that are served by the router. Performance. Router enhances the overall performance of the network. Suppose there are 24 workstation in a network generates a same amount of traffic. This increase the traffic load on the network. So router splits the single network into two networks of 12 workstation each. So reduce the traffic load by half. Network range. So the maximum Wi-Fi signal range your router is able to reach under the current 802.11 standard is 250 feet. So like 70 meters yung kaya ng Wi-Fi. So further, when using a 2.5 gigahertz band, so we have 150 feet. Buwaba. Nevertheless, keep in mind that when you are 150 feet away from your access point, even if you cannot connect, you will never have an outstanding Wi-Fi experience because Wi-Fi can be slow. So, depende pa rin kung meron tayong interference and like may wall, so mag-iiba yung range ng Wi-Fi. The next one, we have the modem. Modem is a hardware device that allows the computer to connect to the internet over the existing telephone line. So a modem is not integrated with the motherboard, rather than it is installed on the PCI slot found on the motherboard. This stands for modulator demodulator. It converts the digital data into analog signal over the telephone lines. So, based on the differences in the speed and transmission rate, a modem can be classified in the following categories. We have the standard PC modem or dial-up modem, and we have the cellular modem, and we have the cable modem. The next one, we have the cables and connectors. Cables is a transmission media used to transmitting a signal. There are three types of cables used in transmission. We have the twisted pair, coaxial, fiber optic cable. A twisted pair cable comprises of two separate insulated copper wire which are twisted together and run in parallel. The copper wires are typically 1 millimeter in diameter. One of the wires is used for transmit data and the other is the ground reference. So we have two types of twisted paired cables. We have the UTP or unshielded twisted pair. This generally comprised of wires and insulator. Then the other one, we have the STP, which is shielded twisted pair. They have a braided wire mesh that encase each pair of insulated wire. Then we have the next one is the coaxial cable. Coaxial cable is a type of copper cable especially built with a metal shield and other components engineered to block the signal interference. There are numerous types of coaxial cables. Some types includes handline coaxial cable, triaxial cable, rigid line coaxial cable, and radiating cable. The next one is the fiber optic cable, also known as optic cable or optical fiber cable. They transfer data signals in the form of light and travels hundreds of miles significantly faster than those in traditional electrical cable. The fastest type of fiber network is called fiber to home or FTTH or fiber to premises FTTP because it's a 100% fiber optic connection with optical fiber cables installed. The next one we have the Bluetooth. Bluetooth is a technology Bluetooth is a radio communication technology that enables low power, short distance wireless network between phones, computer, and other network device. The name Bluetooth is borrowed from King Harald Gormison of Denmark, who lived more than 1,000 years ago. The king's name meant Bluetooth supposedly because he had a dead tooth that looked blue. So the Bluetooth logo is combination of two Scandinavian runes for the king's initial. So the use of Bluetooth can be found in a wide range of devices including cell phones, wireless headsets, wireless keyboards, printer, a wireless speaker, and computer. So the Bluetooth device connect to each other by processing called pairing. When you press the button or select a menu option on the unit, a Bluetooth device initiates a connection. So many Bluetooth device, many mobile devices have Bluetooth radio embedded in them, and as well as the laptops. Then last one, we have the Bluetooth versus Wi-Fi. Although Bluetooth utilizes the same standard signal range as conventional Wi-Fi, it cannot provide the same level of wireless connectivity compared to Wi-Fi. Bluetooth networking is slower, more limited in range, and support fewer peer devices. Okay. That's all for my report. Thank you and good day.
Okay, so thank you very much for your discussion, sir. Of course, networks are usually classified during using three properties, no? The topology, protocol, and architecture. So topology specifies the geometric arrangement of the network. No, common topologies are bus, ring, star, and you can check out figures showing the three common types of network topologies. No, so the protocols, no, specify a common set of rules and signals that the computer of the network use to communicate. So most networks use Ethernet, but some networks may use IBM's token ring protocol. So, but of course, it is recommended to use Ethernet for both home and office networking. Then architecture now refers to one of the two major types of network architecture. So the peer-to-peer or client server. So in a peer-to-peer networking configuration, there is no server and computers simply connect with each other in a work group to share files, printers, and internet access. So this is the commonly found in configuration, and it is only practical for work group of a dozen of less computers. So in client server network, there is usually an NT domain, no, NT domain controller to which all of the computers log on. So this server can provide various services, including centrally routed internet access, mail, file sharing, and printed access, as well as the ensuring security across the network. And this is most commonly found in corporate configurations where network security is, of course, essential. Okay, so I think that's it. I think okay na yung dalawang presenter per meeting, no? Kasi kunti lang naman yung topic natin. So, once again, thank you for attending our class and good afternoon, everyone. So, lagi lang po kayong keep posted sa ating Google Classroom kasi required po kami magbigay ng mga asynchronous task, no? So, most commonly mga sample mga question lang naman 'yon about sa mga topic na na-tackle natin. Para kahit na paano, syempre na-monitor tayo doon eh. Kailangan meron tayong output. Okay po? So once again, good afternoon and keep safe everyone. Have a weekend na, no? So enjoy life naman. Okay, I don't know kung may klase pa kayo later, but
meron pa, sir.
thank you. Naku po. O, sige. Napanako po ako. Naku po. O, sige. Thank you. Last subject ko na kasi kayo. Ingat mga anak. Bye-bye. Keep safe po lagi.
Salamat po, sir.
Good afternoon po.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
po,
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you po.
O, tara na. What are you waiting for? Ayusin niyo yung mga dyan, ha?